Welcome to Monday, July 22nd, 2024. This Day Weather Podcast being brought to you by Wyoming State Parks. Why wonder about the outdoors in Wyoming? Explore the statewide interactive outdoor recreation wonder map to find your next adventure. Heading into the week ahead, well, a few changes. First of all, one thing that won't change is the haziness. We have a lot of wildfire smoke, especially from Western Canada, coming into the western United States. So you're going to get those orange and yellow colored moons out there in the evenings and at night, and great sunrises and sunsets, but hazy conditions out there. Also, what we're going to see is less thunderstorm activity. We've had daily thunderstorms, well, for many days in a row, and that pattern is going to wane a little bit because drier air actually coming in from Western Canada is going to be really limiting thunderstorms for a few days. From today through Wednesday into Thursday, we'll see thunderstorms in the region, but they're going to be in a narrow north-south band west of the divide. We'll show you where. And that's due to this very highly amplified jet stream flow, which means we've got a lot of latitudinal changes, a lot of change in latitude from the way the jet stream pattern is evolving this week. And we saw this last week. The subtropical moisture is going to be concentrated west of the divide until it starts to head east and gets a little bit of a boost by the end of the week. So what we're going to see is thunderstorm activity wane, hazy, warm, sunny days coming up, not a lot going on. Then by Friday and the weekend, the coverage of thunderstorm activity will be increasing again. And overall, the trend will be warmer. Over the weekend, temperatures were actually pretty moderate in many areas, especially yesterday. More hazy suns and hazy moons to show you here across the region over the weekend, and expect that to continue. There's really nothing that's going to sweep away the smoke anytime soon. An amazing shot of lightning activity in these afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Jan Curtis capturing a great shot here of, this is a stacked image of several lightning strikes from thunderstorm activity going back to this past weekend. And this activity is going to take a little bit of a break. Nonetheless, we had some great clouds over the weekend with those afternoon and evening thunderstorms. The concentration of the moisture and the dry air that we talked about intruding areas east of the divide really showing up on the water vapor. So here's the drier air coming in along and east of the divide. So this is what's going to limit thunderstorm activity in this area here. Now further out east, there'll be some thunderstorms. This narrow north-south band right here is going to be causing afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So if you're along this area, east or west of this black line I just drew, there's moisture trapped underneath the high pressure ridge. So you're going to get daytime heating to help form showers and thunderstorms. But in the orange areas, it's not that there won't be thunderstorms. There just won't be very many, and they won't be very productive at producing rain. Now look at this image here and then look at the 500 millibar chart, and you can see where the flow is. We talked about highly amplified flow where there's a lot of change in latitude with the jet stream. And that's exactly what's going on. And if you look at where the high pressure ridge axis is right here, you'll see that's where the subtropical moisture is, right underneath that ridge axis. So what'll happen is that's where the moisture will stay trapped. The northerly flow, if you follow the wind barbs, the northerly flow at 18,000 feet is coming right out of Western Canada into the central high plains and Rockies along both sides of the divide, actually. And that's what's bringing in the smoke, and that's what's bringing in the drier air. Some of you may have noticed over the last couple of days that the thunderstorms have been moving from the north to the south, or even from the northeast to the southwest. That's because of the upper level wind flow. It's caused those thunderstorms to form and basically head that way over the last few days. Don't see that very often. But with this high pressure ridge here hanging around for the first part of the week, that will be the pattern that we're going to be in. And there you can see the smoke. So you can see the thicker smoke areas from Canada. The trajectory of the airs is pushing that south. So it's going to be smoky and hazy all week. If you look at the precipitable water, you can see the drier air along and east of the divide here, the moisture underneath the ridge axis there. This moisture here stays for the next 3 days. This drier air here stays for the next 3 days. and you can see it a little bit up closer. This is on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, notice it's more blue here. The subtropical moisture column's getting a little bit thicker. Dry air stays east of the divide. So today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, thunderstorms here. Drier conditions, only isolated thunderstorms here. And this is reflected in the convective activity map. The Storm Prediction Center basically has just only a couple of areas where there might be a little bit of severe weather across the U.S., generally isolated thunderstorms elsewhere today, tomorrow, and you can see underneath that ridge of high pressure out west is where the thunderstorms are going to want to be over the higher terrain, generally dry conditions elsewhere, and this is for Wednesday. So for the first 3 days of the week, really a vanilla flavored forecast for a lot of the U.S., nothing really remarkable going on. By the end of the week, the ridge gets knocked down a little bit. This trough comes into Western Canada. The winds aloft change. Okay, so they're not going to be coming out of the north anymore. They're going to be coming from this direction. We showed you the subtropical moisture is now going to get pushed back eastward. So the axis of moisture goes east by the second half of the week. Also, some cooler air will come in behind this trough as we get into the upcoming weekend. But the moisture plume comes back by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperature-wise, over the next 5 days, relative to average, the warmest temperatures will be up here. Elsewhere, a little bit above average temperatures, cooler than average, again in the southern Rockies and the southern plains. There you can see the deeper moisture plume by Thursday. So western Wyoming, Utah, eastern Idaho, Montana, the western slope of Colorado, back into Arizona. You're going to get back into thunderstorms. They're going to be a bit more robust on Thursday, along and west of the divide. So you can see, look at the gradient. A lot of moisture here, not a lot here. But that moisture will be heading eastward, and so by Friday and then into Saturday, thunderstorms basically come back like they were over this past weekend in the area. So a break in the thunderstorms for most of you, then they come back in later in the week. Have yourself a good Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.